Well, I did a search when I was doing this presentation, and I linked to a record in WorldCat. But does it go to all of them, Warwick? It certainly.
All the external targets.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it certainly did to WorldCat anyway. Scotia, did you get that? Yeah.
Okay, let's go back and have a look at Libraries Australia search. This is where I'm going to get into end user access and personalisation. So at the moment, these are our stats. They're a little bit higher than that, but no point putting in the point whatever. So this is what you can access from the free search and in conjunction with all the other databases that we offer the subscription service. Okay, so let's talk a bit about personalisation, alerts and enhanced requesting. Now I know this has sort of been trotted out a few times lately, but we seem not to be getting the uptake that we want, and we think that it's starting to either get confusing or people think it's costing them extra or something like that. That's the feedback we've been getting. It's free, it costs you nothing more to use these features. They can be customised and they're of real benefit to your users. So let's start with personalisation. You can have reference staff set up, having access to, so paid for databases if you're not, say for a small library and you're paying for the APAs, we can have them set up so your users aren't racking up a bill on your behalf. And we can give users just the plain simple access to just all the free databases that you also have access to. They can save records and queries into a personal folder. Now my personal experience from this is that they're excited about being able to come into a library and actually have their own personal account into Libraries Australia. This is something none of you have to facilitate at all. All you just need to do is ask for it to be set up. They go in and I'll go through this and choose their own bits and bobs. You don't actually have to facilitate it at all. That's the feedback we're getting, that people they're going, well, I don't have time to create them a password or create them an account. That you don't actually have to do that. They do that all themselves. And what's really great is that you can run reports on account use, so you can see that it's been useful or not. Now, once personalisation has been activated for your subscription account, up the top there you'll see that you'll get a message saying log into your personal account or create one now. So if we click on create one now, this is what comes up, and this is what you yourselves or your users will fill in. So they've got to fill in all the details there. It's quite straightforward, and they choose their own password, username, password, everything like that. And also down here they can customise it. So they can say, do you want it to open to the Easy Search Advanced or Command? What databases do they want to search concurrently each and every time? That can be saved for them. And with My Libraries, that means if you're, it's probably most useful for public libraries and university libraries. If you've got a few campuses with different libraries, they can actually specify, I want this campus library, that campus library, and this public library. And whenever they do a search within their personal account, those results will appear uppermost for them. So it's actually quite handy and useful for your users and researchers. So if we've logged in, and this one here's logged in, and their favourite thing is the advanced search. So as soon as they go in, log in, this is what comes up to them. This is what they've chosen, and they've chosen that that they only want to search in the A and BD, and they want the advanced search screen to come up, and that comes up for them, and they can change this at any time.
So can I have the advanced search screen when they're doing that remotely?
Remotely we can offer independent personalisation, yes. So they can do it off-site if you allow it, which is fine. There's no problems there. So, who's offering personalisation? Okay, not many. Why are you offering personalisation apart from all the good things?
We're trialling it at university. We heard about it. We read we had to do quite some searching to dig up the documents of it from,
Okay.
from National Library.
Sure.
And then we thought, well, we'll just see how not work with one particular group of patients, so we're in the middle of that.
Oh, that's really good. Why aren't people offering personalisation? Never heard of it? It just seems a little bit too complicated? Okay. Didn't know about it. All you have to do is email the help desk and say we would like personalisation enabled, and we create a separate account. So there's another myth with people thinking they will now have access and be able to go into administration and change our details or change our address details. Well, no, they won't. We actually set up a separate account that all the personalisation accounts will appear under that to your specifications.
Offering it to remote users, okay, if you want to, and you're a member.
Mm-hmm.
Do they need a login that you provide?
They provide it themselves. So
we just put the URL on our site, and you take that it's coming from the member site.
yeah.
Okay.
So there's two sets that we set up. You can either have the in-house or the both versions, and it's up to them. They have to remember their username and password, or they can
So
create a new
we
one.
can't use our authentication.
You use your authentic. Oh, yes, you do. They come in via that, and then go into Libraries Australia and go to that. Log into your personal account now. So they do use it
No,
via.
if we wanted to have that personalised account,
Mm-hmm.
okay, or just the setup, not personalised account, the
Oh.
actual full
The subscription service.
subscription
Okay.
service for remote users.
Yeah.
Okay, if we wanted to do that, could we use our authentication thing for them to come directly into that, or do we just use the URL and they just go directly into
No,
that? Or?
no. We can actually set you up. Depending on what your library needs, there's a few ways we can do
So
it.
we can get it the way we want it?
Yes, yes. And you can define what they have access to, of course, and all that. Yes.
So, would you
Sure.
question?
Questions still?
Yeah, with that, where you have a lot of transient clients that come and with you for a year and go,
Yeah.
how do you actually control that so that they drop off the twig after the year? So
They don't ever drop off.
They don't. Oh,
They're there forever. So, but you don't have to worry about that because it's our service base. So, so they can still. They need to access that either inside your library, or if you've enabled it outside, they've got to come through you to get into their account. But they're there, and you don't have to worry about deleting them or maintaining them or anything. Okay. I'll move on to alerts. Now, alerts and personalisation go hand in hand. Now, I'll just run through what alerts are. So, alerts, you can save a query, run it again automatically, and you can either search for newly added material or changed records, and you can it sends you an email with the links through to the A and B D.